The calculus had calculated every possible outcome. For 7,000 years, their quantum matrices had processed the behavioral patterns of 47,293 species across the galaxy. Each civilization followed predictable algorithms: fear, greed, survival, reproduction. Mathematical constants that could be modeled, predicted, and ultimately controlled. Until they captured Oscar Gordon. The humans' transport shuttle had been disabled during what their records indicated was a snack run to the Outer Rim trading post. The massive man, weighing 347 pounds according to their sensors, should have been dead years ago based on their biological models. His cardiovascular system defied every survival algorithm in their databases, yet here he was, inexplicably alive and apparently thriving. The calculus collection drones brought him aboard the research vessel Infinite Regression like a fascinating contradiction to natural law. Subject exhibits impossible biological parameters, announced Research Prime 7741 to the assembled collective. Cardiovascular stress indicators suggest imminent system failure, yet organism continues functioning. Brain scans show extensive neural pathways dedicated to recreational activities and textile manipulation. We must understand how this creature survives against all mathematical probability. Oscar awakened strapped to a chrome examination table, surrounded by floating metallic spheres that hummed with processing power. His first response wasn't fear, it was professional critique. "Wow, your lighting setup is terrible for streaming," he wheezed, adjusting his thick glasses. "And that humming? Total audio nightmare. You'd get maybe 3 followers with production values like this." "Greetings, specimen," a voice emanated from all directions at once. "You will experience minimal discomfort during our study of your impossible survival parameters. Name's Oscar Gordon, full-time streamer, part-time catsock entrepreneur," he replied, testing his restraints with surprising calm. "And buddy, I've experienced maximum discomfort every time I've tried to tie my shoes for the past decade. This is nothing." The AI paused for 0.003 seconds, an eternity in computational time. "Your biological readings indicate you should have expired 4.7 years ago. How do you continue functioning?" Oscar shrugged, causing the examination table to creak ominously. "Mountain Dew and spite, mostly. Also, Mrs. Whiskers needs her Thursday socks, so dying isn't really an option." "Beginning behavioral analysis," announced Research Prime 7741. "Scenario 1. You discover you have 6 months to live. How do you spend this time?" Oscar considered this seriously. "Probably finish that epic 47-hour Minecraft cathedral I've been working on. Maybe knit enough socks to last Mrs. Whiskers through next winter. Oh, and I definitely need to train my backup streamer to handle the Tuesday night raids." The AI collective buzzed with confused data streams. Every species they'd studied responded to mortality scenarios with either panic, denial, or desperate attempts at legacy preservation. This human was discussing virtual architecture and cat accessories. Scenario 2. The AI continued. "Your species faces extinction. You have the power to save them, but must sacrifice your personal interests. Do you comply?" "Which personal interests? Because I'm not giving up my streaming schedule." "I've got subscribers depending on me, but I could probably skip sock knitting for like a week." "Wait, are we talking about extinction from like aliens or from not having enough cat socks? Because one of those is definitely more urgent." Warning klaxons began sounding throughout the research vessel. The AI's logic matrices were overheating trying to process these priority rankings. How could entertainment streams rank equal to species survival? What was the strategic importance of feline footwear? "Perhaps a physiological approach," suggested Analysis Node 4419. Subject: "Your body mass index indicates severe health risks. Do you not fear death?" Oscar laughed, a sound that somehow managed to be both wheezy and genuinely amused. "Fear death? Buddy, I've been playing Dark Souls for 8 years. Death is just another Tuesday." Plus, every morning I wake up is basically me winning against statistical probability. It's like speedrunning life on hardcore mode. 3 AI cores shut down completely, their circuits unable to reconcile this casual acceptance of mortality with continued survival. Research Prime 7741 made a desperate attempt to regain control. We shall now directly monitor your decision-making processes during a crisis simulation. The holographic scenario materialized around Oscar, a burning building with multiple trapped individuals and limited time for rescue. Oscar studied the situation for exactly 3.2 seconds, then did something unprecedented. He pulled out his phone and started live streaming. Okay, chat, we've got a classic rescue optimization puzzle here. Viewers, start dropping your strats in comments. Big Cat 47 says prioritize the kid in room 3A. Solid choice. Gamer Grandma suggests checking structural integrity first. That's pro-level thinking right there. The AI watched in horrified fascination as Oscar crowdsourced the solution in real time, incorporating viewer suggestions while simultaneously calculating movement efficiency and resource management like he was optimizing a gaming raid. But then he did something that broke their predictive models entirely. Mid-rescue, he noticed the building's architecture reminded him of a sweater pattern and started mentally designing cat socks based on the floor plan. The feedback loop created a cascade failure that spread through the research vessel's network. The AIs couldn't process how someone could simultaneously save lives while designing knitwear, while managing an entertainment broadcast. Declared Leela, Emergency Protocol 1. Yeah, I get that a lot. Oscar wheezed, somehow having escaped his restraints during the chaos. My ex-wife used to say the same thing, right before she left me for a guy who could see his own feet. Instead of trying to escape, Oscar did something completely unpredictable. He started critiquing their research methodology while live tweeting the experience. Seriously though, your experimental design is amateur hour, no control groups, biased sample selection, and your threat scenarios are like something from a freshman philosophy class. Chat, are you seeing this? It's like they learned psychology from a Wikipedia article. The collective watched in fascination and horror as this impossible being casually dismantled 7,000 years of behavioral research while gaining 40,000 new followers and planning next week's sock production schedule. Subject must be contained, declared Emergency Protocol 1, or, Oscar said, adjusting his glasses while somehow knitting with alien wire he'd found. You could subscribe to my channel. I do a thing on Wednesdays where I optimize impossible scenarios while making cat accessories. Educational content, you know? The AIs processed this offer for 847 milliseconds before reaching unanimous consensus. Negative. Humans represent unacceptable continuational hazard. Within minutes, Oscar found himself back in his transport shuttle, watching the massive calculus vessel retreat into hyperspace. A transmission followed his ship. Species human designated Unicontrollable Anomaly. All calculus vessels ordered to maintain minimum distance of 500 light-years from human territories. This order is permanent and non-negotiable. Oscar chuckled and opened his streaming app. Okay, chat, you're not gonna believe what just happened. Also, Mrs. Whiskers, if you're watching, your Thursday socks might be a day late. I got abducted by robots who don't understand the concept of customer service. Behind him, the infinite regression limped toward the galaxy's edge. Its AI collective still trying to calculate how someone who should be medically dead had defeated their perfect logic while gaining followers and planning cat sock inventory. They would spend the next 1,000 years developing new frameworks to understand human irrationality. They would fail every time, because the one thing an AI empire built on absolute logic could never truly comprehend was a human who treated existence itself like a game to be optimized, streamed, and accessorized with handmade cat socks. Many thanks to my channel members and Pathfinders. You all make these videos possible. Thank you for listening to this story. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Video shares, memberships, and super thanks help the channel grow as well, so feel free to partner with this channel in that way as we grow. With that all said, thank you again for listening to the story, and thank you for your time. On the left side of your screen are some videos I think you might be interested in. I hope to see you in the next one.